There we go. I think we're live.
We're live?
Hey, everybody.
Hey!
How's
What's the
everybody?
date? What's the date, Mike?
I don't even know.
I don't even know what the date is.
I know it's Friday. I know it's Friday.
Because I can't eat meat and I gotta wear red. Because I always wear red on Fridays for our veterans. But, and I'm ordering a fish sandwich for lunch. What about you?
Oh, I got chicken fingers for lunch coming. So.
Alright, so, my home group peeps. I don't know how many people are on here or how many people we're gonna get. Everything's different right now. We have a room full of people here that are all virtual. So there's really nobody in here.
There's really no one in here.
This is going to be a little bit different. So we're just going to we're going to roll through some stuff that we think can make or break your business, even if you're not in real estate. I know a lot of people that are going to be on here that aren't in real estate. I got buddies in the furniture business. My son is in the tech business. You know, there's a lot of things you can be doing right now with this whole coronavirus thing. And we're gonna make it a real positive kind of thing. You know, I mean, this sucks. Coronavirus. Nobody's liking coronavirus. So we're just gonna try to put a positive spin on stuff. Not unrealistic, but just positive. So, Mike, I always like to start my classes with telling people, who am I? Why am I up here teaching class just because I got a big mouth?
So who are you?
I'm Johnny Walker with my home group, and you are?
I'm Michael Marlowe.
And he's a Cubs fan.
I am a Cubs fan, so don't listen to this guy.
So we might go at it. The 6-foot thing is going to be good because that won't allow us to throw blows at each other. We're both from Chicago. Little bit about me. I've owned my own business since 1986. And I can tell you without question and from experience that everything is cyclical. Business goes up, business goes down. Sometimes it goes really, really down, like 2008, like 2020, but it always comes back. And where it comes back, you actually get to kind of control your level of I'm not taking this, I'm going to fight. That's all up to you. So I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of ebb and flow. Mike and I are almost the same age. He's much older than me. But we've seen a lot. So I've been in real estate for about 13 years. I was a title rep. I was a loan officer. I taught realtors how to buy properties at auction, and I've had my real estate license now for 5 or 6 years. So I've been a top producer here at my home group. Pretty much every year I've been here, I won Rookie of the Year, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you that I come from a place of experience.
Yeah, for me, I've been in the business almost 17 years, about 17 years now. I was a loan officer for about 8 years. I got into the fix and flip arena there for a while, for a few years, and then I've been a licensed agent for 8 years. I've also been here at my home group for nearly 5 years now, so it's just been an amazing ride. So between the two of us, we have a pretty diverse background in real estate, and I've kind of covered the whole gamut there. So that's just a little bit about us. And so what you think?
Let me add one other thing too. I'm also a veteran, so I've seen a lot of what there's a lot of politics going on right now, and this is not going to be about that. I promise you. But I've seen how our government works from the inside looking out, so that gives me a different perspective. Real quick, I'm just going to tell you one thing that I'm going to advise everybody is turn the TV off. I don't care if you listen to Fox, CNN, whatever station you listen to, watch it for an hour a day and then turn it off. And I'm going to cover that a little bit more. I have a friend that is actually the director of the psychology department at Banner Health, and she sent me some stuff that she shared about how to keep people in a positive mindset and what you can do to avoid getting too depressed, because if you haven't gotten your ass kicked and knocked down and gotten back up, this is tough. This is a tough thing we're going through right now. Mike and I probably don't seem like we're down in the dumps just because we've been around the block a few times, but there's a lot of people out there right now that are going, holy crap, what's going to happen? So
don't get us wrong, we have our share of anxiety through this whole thing, so it's just all about being positive. Look for the positive. We're going to get through this. So, I mean, this country's been through a lot of crazy things in the past. But we're gonna get through this. So stay positive.
This is really about you have a choice. Okay, so we're gonna cover a lot of different things that you can be doing right now. But I'm gonna bring up a couple things. So here's the thing. Right now you have a choice of either laying down and dying, crying in your beer, sitting at home going, woe is me, what's going to happen, holy shit, this is all over, excuse my language, that's Lent, I'm trying not to swear. Or you can look at this thing like, okay, how can we make the best of the time we have right now to build positive? But I'm going to tell you something that, I don't tell you, how many people do we have on so far? Do you have any idea?
20.
Okay, so there's 20 of you watching. I guarantee you there's 5 of you that are thinking, I better go get a job. This is over. This is done. Okay? This will be the cleanse. I'm telling you right now, how many active realtors are there in Maricopa County?
Oh gosh, it's like 79,000 or
like 80,000 realtors, licensed realtors. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, if you look up how many there are in 30 days, I guarantee you there'll be 10,000 less, or maybe 15. As people's licenses come up, they're just not going to renew because this is a commission job. I don't know what it's like to get a paycheck. I've been a commission salesman my whole life, and it's tough. You know, you have no idea where your paycheck's coming from the next month. So things get played a little different. This will act as a cleanse. Do you agree?
I think there's going to be a lot of people that going to probably get out of the business because of it. So, but today, hopefully, we're going to share with you just a lot of great things that you can do during this time to really not only boost your business, but to really come out on the other side. So when we are through this, that you're going to be, you're going to be that 10-second head start by doing these things. So we're going to share a lot with you today.
So if you're a My Home Group agent, and I got nothing bad to say about any other brokerages, but I'm telling you right now, if you're a My Home Group agent, good job. Good move, because this brokerage ain't backing off. They're not giving up. Mark and Jeremy are setting up classes, and there's so many things that they're doing to keep My Home Group rolling through this, because they know this is short term. This sucks, but it's short term. So My Home Group's not backing off. We're going to show you ways that maybe you shouldn't back off to.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
So let's get started.
All right. So with that said, I will tell you that your attitude right now and your mindset is going to make or break you through this, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to look at what's the worst case scenario. So, I mean, let's pretend this is fire. This is doom.
That's fire?
Yeah, I'm
Looks
not
like a middle finger.
I'm not I'm not an artist, okay? This is everything is okay. So, everything's not okay right now. But everything's not done either. Okay? So right now you gotta find your place somewhere in here and then set your mind to that. Personally, I'm way over here. Mike, where you at?
Oh, I'm over here too.
Yeah. So Mike and Johnny are both right here. And that's experience. So if you're a smart businessman, what's one of the smartest things you can do when you get into business? If you can learn from somebody else's mistakes, and I made plenty. I've had my ass kicked so many times. I've been knocked down. I keep getting up. But every time I got knocked down, I learned something from it. This is one of those times. Okay?
It's also because you're a White Sox fan, but
It's also because I'm a White Sox fan, right? And a Bears fan. And actually, the Blackhawks have been keeping me pretty happy. So you have a choice. You really do. You have a choice. But you also need to be realistic. You also have children to feed and a mortgage to pay, and I get all that. I'm not making light of any of that. We all have that, okay? And if you don't have a big stockpile of cash and this thing goes on for a couple of months, yeah, I get it. You're going to have to do what you got to do to provide for your family. We all do, okay? My opinion, and this is, again, not political, this is my opinion. I believe that right now, maybe it's a little political, I believe that right now the people that we elected to represent us in both Congress and Senate are a bunch of fools. And I don't care whether they have an R or a D behind their name. This is a time for America to come together. This is not a time for bickering and party and all that bullshit. I'm done with that. It's time for us to come together and do what's best for America. I don't care if you like the president or hate him. He's in charge. He's the guy's making decisions, and he's surrounding himself with people that are helping him make decisions. So let's get past all that and let's start thinking about what does this really look like. So, in my opinion, come around April 15th, April 17th, you're going to see the news cycle change. So right now, the news cycle is like this. Oh, this many people died. This many people tested positive. This celebrity has it. This politician has it. I don't personally know anybody yet that has it, but there's a lot of people that do. So it's real, and it's doom, and it's gloom, and it's really bad. But that's going to change. So as soon as if this hydroxychloroquine or...
I don't know how to say it either.
Okay, try spelling it. You spell it. Okay, if this drug works, or some other drug works, or they come up with a drug that works, and we start seeing people getting healthy because of what they're doing, this is how the news cycle is going to change. It's going to change. And I don't care what channel you watch, they will have no choice but to report that, hey, things are getting better. As soon as that happens, you watch. Watch Facebook. There's going to be so much positivity, and it's all going to start switching. I believe that's going to happen around the 17th. So we get a couple of bad weeks, just like the president's been saying. A lot of folks are going to be dying from this. It's horrible, but it's going to come around. I believe once that changes, this is going to happen. The best part of that is once that happens, our economy is going to explode. That's not my opinion. Let me tell you why. Anybody that has money and has been sitting at home, they're not going to restaurants, they're not going out for drinks, they're not going to Disney World, they're not going to the beach, they're not going...
Hey, we have an audience.
They're not going... Wow, the boss is here. What's up? Come on up and say hi to everybody.
Seriously?
So once that happens, once that curve changes a little bit, our economy is going to explode. People are going to be like, let's go out to dinner every night. Let's go here. Let's go there.
I'm ready.
Oh, I am too. All these local businesses that you should be supporting if you can, our economy is going to explode, and it's going to go like this, okay? That's a good and bad thing, because remember, back in 2008, our home values went like this. And when they went down the same way they came up, okay? This is a little different, okay? The housing market caused our problem in 2008. The housing market did not cause this problem with our economy, okay? Yeah. So the housing market actually is going to be what's going to carry our economy once this all ends. People will be buying houses. Here's another positive thing. What's our inventory yesterday was at 13,873 or something like that. When this started, we were at 9,782 or something. Yeah. So we've got a lot more. We're still really low on inventory. We still need a lot more inventory.
Yeah. So hopefully, if you saw Tina Tambor, I don't know if I say
Tina
her name right.
Tambor.
Tina Tambor. She was amazing on Wednesday, and it was just awesome. Filled with a lot of great information about the market. So you should be armed if you're on that call with
the Cromford report.
Yeah, the Cromford report. You should be armed with a lot of tremendous information about what's going on right here in Phoenix. So hopefully you got to see that, and then I'm sure we're going to have...
We could get a link to it. I'm sure Kelly can.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, that's not opinion. Those were facts.
Yeah.
Those are like graphs and charts and like actual numbers. So that there's no BS in that. That's not opinion. That's a fact. So my friends, I think the housing market is actually going to carry our economy going forward. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think, and like she was saying, that right now things are still good in Arizona. There's no reason to panic. It's everything. It looks like it's on. It's normal. I don't want to say normal, but everything looks good. So if you saw that, you've got a lot of positive information about the market right here in Arizona. So, yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to say everything's good, but it's better. I mean, we're actually building up a fortress, kind of. So when this thing breaks, our industry is going to be ready. We're going to have some inventory. There's going to be people ready to buy. So my big thing is relocation. I have billboards all over Chicago inspiring people to move to Arizona. Nobody's moving to Arizona right now. It's a little tough. So, but when this breaks, everything's going to go back to normal, or actually even better. I mean, that's a big prediction, but I do believe the housing market we're going to be strong. So if you can make it through The only problem is we don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
So if it lasts 5 months, there might be 8,000 realtors left. I don't know, but I will tell you this. So let me throw this out to you, Mike. And Mike, you're an honorary member of the senior wing upstairs. So upstairs in the senior wing, we call it, because there's a hall upstairs here at our office that all the old guys hang out. It's Neil Brooks and Carl and Sherry and myself, and we're all kind of the older folks here at the brokerage. It's really funny how we get on text strings. I can't share them by any stretch of the imagination, but it's all, everybody's really positive. Everybody that's kind of been through this, got your ass kicked and got back up. We get it. We've been around a little bit, so yeah, there's a lot of positivity still left in this thing.
Yeah. So let's get into some things they can do.
Okay, so everybody has. Let's talk first about how to work from home.
Yep.
Okay, so owning my own business, I was in the furniture business for almost 20 years. I never had an office other than my home office, and then later I got an office. But I worked from home for years. And one of the things that I learned really early on about working from home is you have to separate yourself from home and work, okay? Difficult. I happened to build an office in my garage, so I was able to take the third car garage of my house and make it into an office. I built walls and put an air conditioner in and closed doors and the whole deal. So I actually had an office that I went to work. So my thing was I would get up and maybe work in my underwear. No visuals, don't get any visuals. You know, you work in your underwear for 20 minutes, get kind of your day. And then I would go shower, get in my car, drive around the block, and then I'd be at work. So when I got into my office in the garage, I was at work. So if you can do that, if you can separate your home life from your work life, it'll pay dividends for you. I get it that some of you are working from the island in your kitchen or the dining room table or wherever it is, and maybe your spouse is doing the same thing. So now you got a one office here, a real estate office here, and then you got the kids doing homework. So I get it, it's difficult. If you can separate yourself from home and work, it'll help you concentrate and stay a little bit more focused.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, really, it's just all about trying to create a structure at home that you can't do at the office. So time blocking things out, setting a time aside for you to make sure that you can get everything done that you need to get done. So we'll cover more of that a little bit later, but yeah.
And take advantage of being at home. You want to go have a sandwich? You don't even have to go out and order a sandwich. You just go make a sandwich. Or, I can remember my wife going, "Oh, honey, the pool's this." I'm like, "Babe, I'm at work. I'm in the middle of something."
And that is the thing. You do got to separate. You really do. When you are at home and it is time to work, it's time to work. It's really to get those things done that you need to get done for your business and not get distracted with eating a sandwich or cleaning the pool, things like that. So.
Keep going, Mike. Okay. So some good practices on how to create a good working environment at home. Everybody's different. Everybody's got different situations. Some people have kids. Some people don't. Some people have pets. Some people are single. Everybody's got a different way. See if you can create a really positive, structured work environment at home. Might be a big challenge, but do what you can. It'll help you. The other thing about working from home is distractions and how easily you can be distracted from what you're doing. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up about that, okay? Because right now, there's not a whole lot of business. Let's be honest with you. I mean, I'm working with some buyers, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. And we're going to be out showing homes, and we're going to explain to you all the precautions you can take and all that. But business is slow right now. So on top of that, I'm going to give you an example of something that I got done in the past couple weeks that I've been trying to get done for a year. One of my relocation, one of the perks of my relocation program is I have a vendor list as long as my arm. I have a list this long of all licensed contractors, licensed, bonded, and then I got another list over here of people that may or may not be citizens of the United States, and you have to pay them cash, and it's a different list. But I've been trying to put that list together for my relocation clients in a book form, in a tangible, something I can actually hand to them, kind of like an Angie's List or something. I got that done, and it's been a year, and I finally sat down one day, actually 4 days, and just said, I'm hammering this thing out. And I finally got it done. Is there anything you've done like that, Mike?
Oh, yeah, well, and we're going to get into the database in a little bit here, but part of what I call the database is your power partner section, and we'll talk about that and how important it is to have all that stuff down. So there's two sections to the power partner list. One is like everything to do with the house, and then the other section is going to be all the different referral partners that you want to build out, like CPAs or divorce attorneys or things like that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, you're exactly right. That is one of the most important things that you can have for your businesses. You know, as a real estate agent, we are the concierge of everything. So we need to have all these relationships, and if you don't have them built out, then you need to work on it. You need to get that done.
Maybe now's the time to do that.
Now's the time to do that.
Maybe now's the time to do that.
Yeah.
Certainly open houses. Boy, I mean, I've seen people having open houses on the weekends, and I've reached out to them to find out how they went, and I'm not getting response. So I'm assuming that it's been slow. If it's an occupied house, yeah, I mean, how many people you think are going to want people traipsing through their house right now and just opening the house to this coronavirus? So I get it. So I'm a big open house guy, and I'm choosing not to do them right now.
Yeah.
That might be the right or wrong thing to do. I don't know, but my personal choice is I don't think it's going to be fruitful.
I will tell you though that there are some agents that are doing what they call like a virtual open house. So they are going to like a vacant properties where most agents are choosing something that's vacant. They can actually go in and they can do a whole tour, like a whole video tour of the home, and then they're reaching out to people to say if they'd like to experience this virtual tour. So that's an option that you can do for open houses right now. I do know some agents that are still doing them, vacant properties primarily, and they're just being ultra careful when they do, you know, having wipes, having gloves, having things like that. That's really a choice that you would have to make for yourself if you wanted to do an open house right now. But the virtual tours I've heard about, so I don't know if any of you on there have been doing anything like that with the virtual tours, but I know there's been a few agents that are doing that, having some success with it.
I've been doing them for years. So a lot of my clients in Chicago, you know, I send them searches every other day or whatever, and they'll call me and say, hey Johnny, we really like this home up in Anthem or whatever. And if it's vacant, even if it's not, prior to the corona thing, I would call and say, hey, I've got a client that'd like to see the house, set it up with showing time. And actually the entire showing is right here. I do a FaceTime showing, take them all the way, show them all the way around the house. It's effective. Is it optimal? No. Is it an adaptation? Do we have to adapt? Yeah, that's a really good example of how you can adapt right now. So sitting in, what's your opinion seriously on sitting in open house on the weekends?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think it's a personal choice. I mean, I'm not sure I would do them. I would probably opt for more of the virtual thing so that I could still try to get some exposure, get some marketing out there, and get some people, connecting with people that way. If it was vacant, if I had a face mask and gloves and I had the ability to, still let, have people come in, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air on that one. But it's a personal choice if you want to take that chance to have an open house and having people through. So, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that right now.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards not. And I'm an open house guy.
Yeah, me too.
It's one of my pillars. It's one of the things that I work really hard and that I've learned to do very, very well, and it's been very successful for me. So taking away a whole pillar of my business is difficult. So once again, this word is going to come up a lot.
Yeah.
You have a choice, and now you have to adapt. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really talked to Mark and Jeremy about how they feel about it, but I think common sense tells us that maybe open houses aren't the best way to spend your time right now. Then again, if you're sitting in open house and somebody comes by your open house, they're probably pretty serious buyers, because they're not just dropping in going, oh, I'm a nosy neighbor and I just wanted to check to see if there was any coronavirus.
That's true too. If they show up, they're probably very serious.
If they show up, they're probably pretty serious. So I mean, you gotta weigh it out. That's
if you're gonna do it, be careful. Be very, very careful. Make sure you have gloves. Make sure you wipe everything down. Even maybe you have a face mask if you don't have them.
Let's cover that real quick since we're there.
Yeah.
So I'm showing property today at 4 o'clock. And let me tell you how I got these clients, by the way. You're going to like this, Mike. So, past client of mine, a young couple, first-time home buyers. And if you look at my Facebook Facebook page, they put a comment on there that they wanted to buy another house just because it was so much fun to work with me. So I'll take that. That's a great testimonial. Well, these are their friends, and they had a family friend that was a realtor, so they went with the family friend. They called me on, what's today, Friday? They called me on Monday and said, yeah, look, we're going to take the advice of our friends, and we'd like to hire you as our realtor. We're going to fire our other realtor because she was only showing properties on weekends. And I was like, okay, well, did you have a buyer-broker agreement? And they were like, no. I said, okay, well, yeah, we can figure something out, and made sure that I wasn't, doing anything, nefarious with their realtor. Turns out that if their realtor's only showing properties on the weekends, what's that tell you? They have a job. They have a job Monday through Friday, and they can only do real estate on the weekends. Well, it's a full-time job for me. I'm 24/7. Mike's 24/7. Okay, so long story short, I picked them up. We're going to go show properties today. So before I do that, we had a serious conversation about, hey guys, look, this is how we're going to have to do this. Times are a little different right now with coronavirus. Doesn't mean that we can't go out and look at properties. We just have to be cautious.
Yep.
So, rubber gloves. Number one. Disinfectant wipes. Your mask is in your car.
It's in my car.
Yeah, I have a mask. So here's the thing, and these are my suggestions, and I think NAR sent something out like this too. So if you're going to show properties, drive separately. Don't drive in the same car. Have them follow you in their car.
Yeah.
That's a bummer because when you have somebody in your car, you get a lot of time to learn from them and kind of find out a little bit about them. If you're playing that right, you should be learning from your clients at that time, which I've been doing for years. You learn more from people, letting them talk between each other. So you're going to kind of take that away. Drive separately. When you get to the house, tell them to wait until you get the house open. So take the lockbox, get the key, wipe them down, use your gloves, go in the house, turn on all the lights, open all the doors. And then tell your clients, okay guys, we're ready for you, come on in. Don't open any doors or turn on any lights, I'll do that for you. That way only one person is touching the doorknobs, the cabinets. If they want to open up the stove, great, open up the stove for them. Hey, what's in this cabinet? Open up the cabinet. Whatever they need, it's going to be a little different. So it's going to be a little less client participation. It's going to be more for them to watch and learn and talk. This will also give you a chance for them to talk with each other, and you get to hear what they're saying. So just really simple stuff. Mike, anything else?
That which brings me to something I remembered. Larry Dingan, our designated broker, put out on the Facebook Mastermind page some stuff. I know the department had some parameters or things that you can do if you're having open house, stuff like that. So that is out there, I believe, in the Mastermind. You can go and search for it. That'll give you some safety tips and things to do. So
and common sense.
Yeah.
Common sense. Mike and I are trying to stay 6 feet apart.
Trying to.
So have fun with it. I mean, do what you gotta do. But yeah. So and then normally with my clients, I like to have a discussion when we leave a certain property and say, okay, what do you think about this? My normal procedure would be I ask the clients, okay, yes or no, does this house fit your daily lifestyle? In other words, if you get up for coffee in the morning and your husband's still sleeping, does this allow you to sell? Whatever your lifestyle looks like, that's either a yes or no question. And then I ask them to rate it 1 to 10. And 1 to 10 includes, is the backyard right, is the floor plan right, is the neighborhood right, is all those different things. But now when I do that, I take them outside to do that. Let's go outside and have a discussion. You on that side of my car, me on this side, paperwork on my hood or whatever. So it's really just common sense, simple stuff.
Absolutely.
Anything
I
else?
totally agree.
Yeah. So same thing. Even in your office or even in your car or anywhere that you go in public, if you can wipe down a handle, a doorknob, that's where the stuff is living. So I think they said like the bubbles go like 5 feet or something,
6 feet
or whatever.
I've been saying 6 feet.
And they last like for 45 minutes on different things. I'm taking it very seriously, please. I'm not trying to minimize it. Just be smart is all I'm trying to say.
Be smart.
Okay? Yeah. So I just got a text from my son who has commandeered my home office and he's watching this. Hi, Joe.
He's up to
Anyway, he's coming. He's down here from out of town. His mother's very happy that he's home and not.
Is he a Sox fan too?
He's roots for the Cubs too. His,
Oh, right.
his whole side up thing with Cubs fans and I think his mother's like a closet Cubs fan. I found that out when they were playing for the World Series. She had this little W flag, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" And so I called my mother-in-law, and I couldn't trade her in, so I stuck with her. So anyway, so we're happy to have him home. And my other son works at a corner store, a convenience store, and he continues to work, and we're taking every precaution we have. You know, he comes in, takes his clothes off, washes down before he kisses his mom, and, you know, just be careful.
Yeah, gotta be safe.
Gotta be safe. And it's really common sense. And to be honest with you, my wife is like the hand cleaner, you know, Nazi. It's like, wash your hands. She's been telling us to wash our hands forever. So not a lot of changes in our house. So, okay. Where else we at, Mike? Vendors. Let's talk a little bit about vendors.
Vendors? Yeah, let's get into vendors.
Let's talk vendors.
Okay, because I can get in, when you're ready, I can get in a database and I can get into all that stuff.
We'll do database because that's going to probably be the most important thing you can do right now because.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, without question. So let's cover these other things. So I have a team. If you want to see my team, go to azjohnnyWalker.com. That's my relocation program, and there's pictures and bios on my team. And my team is my lender, my title partner, my home warranty partner, my home inspector partner, and myself. That's my team. And my team is experiencing the same thing I am. So it truly is a team. When I'm down, they're down. So this is the time that you got to work together. And I've created an incredible team. If you don't have a team, if you don't have a title partner, if you don't have a lending partner, a home inspector.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I'm going to just go ahead and kind of do, is this the eraser? Oh wow, okay, cool. Okay,
I just learned Eraser 101. Nice.
So let's talk about power partners, right? Oh, it's not a really good one. Is there another marker over there?
Yeah, here. I just got here.
Okay, so power partners. I really believe there's two lists here for power partners that you have to build. So the first list is anything to do with the home, okay? So anything to do with home, which would be title, you know, lender, you know, contractor, home warranty, home inspector. I'm not going to write them all out just because this list is going to grow, okay? But, you know, cleaner, landscaper, electrician, plumber, anything to do with the home, roofer, that's going to be one of your groups. Now, the way I always like to explain this, in this particular group, anything to do with the home, this isn't where you're going to get a lot of referrals, but this is where you do care about them taking care of your client. So when you have this list, now I always say that title and lender are sit-down meetings. Those are people you definitely need to sit down with and really understand the title process, really understand the loan process. So that's something you definitely want to do, and you want to stay in regular contact with this group here. So, and this list, you need to build it all out. And it's far more important to make sure they're taking care of your client than they are about getting referrals from this section, okay? And the reason is if something does go wrong here, or they don't do a good job, one of the things that they're going to do is they're going to not only complain about the person that did the work, but some of it's going to fall on you. That's just natural. But then more importantly, they're going to go tell everybody. And that's the one thing you don't want to do. That's why everybody in this group, you need to make sure does an amazing job for your client. I have an electrician in this group. I've been dealing with this guy for before I even got into the real estate business, and I can tell you that every single time I refer him, I get a phone call from the person that got the service, and they're saying, thank you so much for referring him over. He was an amazing, was amazing. Not only did you get everything done at a reasonable price, it was just such a joy to work with him. So that's why this group is important. Make sure they take care of your clients, okay?
I actually break this down a little bit, Mike. So I agree with you.
We're sharing
I
this.
agree with you. So your title, your lender, your home warranty, and your home inspector, all Power Partners.
Yeah.
I take this group and actually I make a separate group.
Well, I am. I'm going to go into the second group, but this group is everything to do
Air
with the house.
conditioning,
Everything
tile.
to do with home.
Okay.
Yep, tile, anything to do with the house. Landscaping, electrician, plumber, roofer, anything to do with the home. The second group is, this is where you do care about getting business from this group. This is where you do care. It's already on my hands. Anyway, the second group, you do care about getting business from this group. So I don't know if any of you have ever read the book called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. It's an amazing book. There is a section in there called about the power of the mastermind. That's kind of where I relate this group. So the second group is going to be like CPAs, divorce attorneys, car dealer, business owners, any kind of different business owners. But the list, you're going to build this out. So get creative with this list. Hairstylists could be another one. So just
That's a great one, actually.
Yeah, right. And you'd be surprised that one of my best friends, she was in the car business years ago. She has like 3 or 4 cars. You wouldn't even believe how many referrals she gets out of that. How many deals she's closed from just building these relationships. But in this particular group, you do care about getting referrals from it. And anyway, what I was talking about the power of mastermind is finding like-minded people that help each other build your business. And so that's what you're essentially doing with this group. Is everybody in this group is a sit-down meeting. And the way I like to do this meeting is, and if anybody's ever been into my business development class, I talk about this, and this is the way I go and do it. So we were talking about pillars of business. So, for example, open houses is one of my pillars of business. Lead generation is another one of my pillars of business, and database. That was the main 3 things I focused on when I was building my business. And I was averaging probably at least 35 plus people a month through my open houses at a minimum. I had months where I had way more than that, but somewhere around there. I was averaging probably about 40 to 50 leads a month through my lead generation. So this is my open houses, my lead gen, and then my database I was working constantly every day. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But here's how I got my meetings with this group. So if I was averaging, around 75 plus people a month that I was talking to on a regular basis, I would actually go into this group and I would get these recommendations either from database or your sphere of influence. You would get recommendations to meet these people. And this is how I got the meeting. Here's a script for you. This is what I use. So I would say, hey, Mr. CPA, this is Michael Marlowe. I'm with my home group real estate. You came highly recommended from Johnny Walker. And the reason for my call is I was wondering if you had some time for coffee or lunch, because I'm in front of, on average, about 75 plus people a month that may or may not need your services. And I was wondering to see if we could work together. And that's how I usually get the meeting. So then, once I got the meeting...
Question.
Yeah.
So for coronavirus, how does that look today?
Phone call. So now it's just on the phone.
You
Yeah.
don't just stop. Don't just say, well, I can't do that.
No, right.
Now it's a phone call.
Now it's just a phone call versus an in-person meeting. Once we get through on the other side, you're going to want to schedule the meeting for coffee or lunch.
Face-to-face is always.
But now but in coronavirus, and this time, it's a phone call. So you're going to basically say, do you have 15 or 20 minutes that we can talk about maybe working together? And when you do, and now what's important about this group is, remember, you are wanting to build referrals from this section. So it is important to make sure that's clear in the conversation. So the reason for my call is I'm in front of, on average, this many people a month that may or may not need your services, and I was wondering if we'd be a good fit to work together. And so you're going to interview them. So it's not just automatic because you refer them to me. I actually want to learn about them. Some of the questions that I ask in this interview would be, how long have you been in the business? How many people do you work with on average a month?
Think about
how many realtors do you work with? That's my most important question during that interview.
But think about this. So if you're going to refer a CPA, a divorce attorney, a car dealer, a hairstylist, do you want to refer someone that's going to screw up their hair or someone that's going to mess up their finances? Research these people. Don't just take the phone book out and say, hey, I heard you're great because you were able to do this. Research them. Same thing with the contractors. And I tell people all the time, if you don't have an air conditioning guy that you're referring, or a painter, or a landscaper that you know and trust and have seen their work, man, you're missing out. I got a $1.2 million listing in Fountain Hills from my air conditioning guy, because he went there to fix this lady's air conditioner. Her husband had passed away. The house was too big. He said, here, call Johnny Walker. $1.2 million listing from an air conditioning guy.
Yeah. So you're going to get referrals from this section, but my main thing on this section when I'm doing the house is that you care more about the client, because that's just something that you want to make sure they're taken care of. But you will get referrals out there. This one, you do care about getting referrals. So when you're in that meeting or on the phone, you're actually on the phone conversation now. Now it's learning about them, about their business, how long they've been in the business. And then you're going to show them, this is what I'm going to do. Look, I'm in front of this many people on average a month. So what I do, and I'm going to get a database in just a second here, but what I do is make like 5 calls a day, and we're going to talk about that. And when I call them, give back calls, because just a minute ago we talked about being the concierge of everything. So because I'm constantly reaching out to my database every day, there's going to be one of my give back calls, and it's real simple. I'm just asking how people are. How are you doing today? Is there anything I can help you with? And we're going to get into that script in a little bit, but that's what I do. And I tell Mr. CPA or divorce attorney, I'm making 5 calls a day. This is my commitment to helping you build your business, and I'm looking for like-minded people. So every day I make 5 calls to my database on giving back. How can I help you today? Is there anything that you need? And you'll be surprised at how many people say, I'm looking for a good landscaper, or I'm looking for an electrician, or I'm looking for this. And so now you, being the concierge of everything, has that opportunity to turn right around and refer that person to this group. So this is something right now, database is like probably the #1 thing you should be working on. Everyone should be working on. So yeah, you're just showing me a list right now.
That's it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I finally got done. It took me a year to find. This is my vendor list. And there's everything in there. Accounting, tires, appliance, duct cleaning, door automation, carpet cleaning, remodeling, realtor obviously is me, solar, title companies, everything.
You got them all down, right?
So let me throw one thing out while you're saying this. The one common denominator in this entire thing is you.
Yeah.
So if it goes bad, it's your fault. If it goes right, it's on you.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you don't just pick Joe Smith, the CPA, because he's the only guy that answered the phone. You gotta vet these people.
You gotta monitor them throughout the process,
Yeah.
because if they're not referring you like you're referring them, you're
Find another one.
Then you gotta find one. You gotta go find another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In my vendor list, there's a couple things like wealth management or whatever. I have multiple people in there. I've got one guy that's really good with tax law, or one guy or tax finances and so on and so forth. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but the one common denominator of this entire thing is the buck stops at you, and you want to be that. You don't want it to be anywhere else, because if it shines, you get the credit for it. If it fails, you get kicked in the what's for it.
So you got to manage it. You really do. Now again, remember,
don't go out and find a painter and then find out that the guy does crap work, because then you're never going to get any referrals from the people you referred him to.
And they go and tell everyone.
And they tell everybody, and you just cut yourself off the path.
So you do got to make sure everybody's taken care of, that anything to do with the house. But in this group, this is the part where you've got to do the work. So this is where you got to make your calls every day out to your database, so that you can be consistently refer out to this group of people. Now imagine if you had 10 other people that owned 10 different types of companies that were just as committed as you are to making those calls every day to help refer back to you. And that's what they call the power of the mastermind, is that you have working with like-minded people to help you build your business. So this can be a very, very powerful thing for you. So it's something that you got to make sure they're referring back to you. So are there any questions on that? I know we haven't gotten any.
This is all going to come full circle when we open up like legit the database conversation.
Yeah.
This is all going to come full
Yeah, this
circle.
is really something I talk about a little bit more towards the end of it, but he was talking about power partners and vendors, so I just wanted to get in on that right now. And so anyway, any questions on power partners? Is there a way for us to see that? Can we see if there's questions?
Oh, I think Kelly is monitoring that. Kelly, is anybody asking any questions?
No? Okay, good. All right.
Good? Okay, if you have questions, just type it in on the Facebook.
Type it in, Kelly will
And
interrupt us.
Kelly will let us know that there's questions. So, we're good?
Okay.
Our lovely assistant,
You
actually
wanna-
she runs the whole place, so. She's over there going like this. And she's wearing red today to honor our troops, which I like.
You want to jump in the database? Or
What's that?
you want to jump in the database?
Cover a couple other things because I
Okay.
think database is going to take
It's going to take a bit.
it's going to take a bit if you want to work it right. And right now, I think maybe the most important thing that we can cover right now is you have time right now. If you've ever had free time to really dial in what your business looks like, it's right now. Use it as a gift. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah.
Use it. Now's the time to take that time where you can just sit and dial in your business, really define what it looks like and what it's going to look like when you come out on the other side of this. That might be the most important thing that we tell you today, is that there's going to be the other side of this. It's not going to stay this way, okay? So now's the time to use it to your advantage. We will beat coronavirus. It's not going to be forever. The world is not ending. Trust me, I promise you that. How long it's going to be, you don't know. Mike doesn't know. I don't know. But I know one thing, that all my years in business tells me that I've been given an opportunity to take the time to really dial in, to be really truthful with you, where I have lacked. You know, the things that I said, oh, I got to do that, and then life gets in the way, or business gets in the way, or $1 million buyers get in the way, or brand new home buyers, or whatever it is. There's always something gets in the way, and then you never get it done. Now's the time to take and really dial that in. So let's do this exercise. Take a look, put up on a piece of paper my business. Define your business. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a tech salesman. I'm a car salesman. Whatever your business is, define what your business is. If you're a realtor, what's your business? Buying and selling homes, finding people their dream home. Put a definition by what your business is to you and what you think people look at you as. Do people look at you as, oh, that's Mike Marlowe, he's a buyer's agent. There's Johnny Walker, he's a seller's agent, he's a listing agent. You know, figure out what that is, define what that is, and then define what your pillars are, and that's kind of
I would take that a step further and be like, you know, right now is the time to think about where do you want to be from this moment, 12 months from now, where do you want to be in this business? Because we all need a foundation from which to build from. And I think that's what you're getting at, is really
if you're
deciding what it is that you want to do in real estate. So I would pick 2 or 3 things that you want to do. So database is not negotiable, by the way, for any agent. Would you agree?
Oh, no.
Not negotiable. So that's definitely one pillar of business that you want to work on. But I would pick 1 or 2 more that you really want to build in this business. And then at that point, you should also pick, well, where do you want to be? How much business do you want to do 12 months, you know, from now, 12 months from now? What does that look like? And so now you've got your foundation set with whatever number that is. If it's 24 deals, if it's 3 million in volume, whatever it is. So at the top of that paper, like you're talking about,
but you're taking it way back. Which
Yeah,
is
I think
great. Like new agents, what do you want to be? What do you want to appear as? I'm talking about agents that are established. Even the guys up in the senior wing, we adapt all the time. What's business doing? How do I attack this? I'll give you a perfect example of this. Agents that have been around a little bit, and this is a very common conversation upstairs in the senior wing. Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, Trulia. That's a conversation we all have. People have been trying to knock us off the hill for years. Everybody's trying to find a way to eliminate the realtor. You hear these commercials, don't give your realtor 3% or 6% when you can do it for this and you can do it for that, which is all a bunch of crap anyway because they're charging them anyway. But they're finding any way they can to eliminate us. So what happens if you're a prize fighter and you're in the ring and you've been hit in the face 5 times? All of a sudden, you know what it feels like to get hit in the face, and you start trying to avoid it. But they're still trying to hit you in the face. They're not stopping that. So you have to figure out how to duck them. This is just another example of that, okay? So Open Door. OfferPad, Trulia, Homey, Zillow. Guess where they're at right now? They are prime. These folks that I'm showing homes to today, tomorrow we're looking at 2 open door homes. If they like either of those, now's the time to punch Open Door right in the face, because they put a kibosh on buying everything. So this coronavirus has cut them off at the knees. This could kill them. This could be the end of companies like that. Okay? So for all of you that are out there saying, I don't like this, I got nothing. I've done business with all of them. With the exception of Homey. I haven't done a deal with Homey. I've done a deal with Open Door. They were great to work with. OfferPad, not as good, but they were great. Trulia, I've had no problems with Trulia or Zillow. I've had no problems with them. They try to get you to use their lenders, and there's a lot of different things that they tell you that you have to do that you don't. If you're an experienced realtor, you understand what you have to do and what you don't, and you just got to fight them on it. You just got to tell them, no, we're not using your lender. Here's our offer, either take it or leave it. So, but right now, there's a big change in our market. So you have to define what it is. Not only is your business today, if you're a new realtor, to find what you want your business to look like. And if you don't know, call Mike, call me, call Mark, call Jeremy, call Andrew, call John Dyer. There's so much knowledge in this building and in this brokerage. If you're not sure what you want it to look like, ask. Go look at teams. Maybe a team's the right way to do it. That's all for new realtors. I think what today we're talking about, new, old, experienced, getting ready to get out, whatever position you're in, is what right now, this time, this COVID time, you can use to define what your business looks like. And if you're an experienced agent, take a step back and look at your business and say, I'm really not making a lot of money doing that. Or, open houses aren't the right thing for me. Or,
well, I can't do open houses right now, so what can I do?
Well, but I mean, in general, let's take away COVID-19 and say, what's my business look like? I'm not good at open houses. I'm failing at that. I'm spending too much time at open house and not getting enough return. Some people are good at it, some people aren't. If you want to get better at it, then that should be one of the things right now you should be working on how to get better at it after this COVID thing. You have time right now. Call somebody that does really well at it and say, hey, what can you teach me about this? Now's the time to do that. Database, everybody should have that pillar.
Number one.
Without question, database is the pillar. And we're going to go into that, Mike's going to go into that in depth. But let's talk about other stuff that you can do right now because you have time. How many of you understand lending? And if you don't have a lending partner, you should find one right now. Start calling other realtors and ask who's your lending partner and why. Why is that your lending partner? I can tell you that as a former loan officer, the more I know about lending, and I can tell my clients when I'm showing them home, I look very knowledgeable to them. I am knowledgeable, but I got news for you. Guidelines yesterday are different today in lending. They're changing daily right now. If you're not sure what forbearance is, you should find out what that is, because everybody's offering forbearance right now. In other words, we'll delay your payments for 3 months. You don't have to pay for 3 months, but then at the end of that 3 months, you got to pay it all. So a lot of lenders are offering that. Educate yourself on that. Now's the time to do that. You're not out with clients. You're not sitting open houses.
And if you haven't been doing it, you need to do it from here on out.
Yeah.
So you should always be in communication.
Create good habits.
Yep.
Create good habits. Yeah. Understand lending. Who can tell you? Who can tell you what an alt-date policy is in title? Who can if you can't define what your title company does, don't be embarrassed. Call your title rep and say, hey, I don't really get this, and I never really have. Could you explain to me how this works? Knowledge is power. Now's the time to get knowledge. You have time. What's some other things you can do? Home warranty. I happen to use OneGuard. I've got nothing against any others. I just got a great relationship with my rep, Shelly Carr. She does a great job. Now's the time to say, hey, Kelly, you know what? Or Shelly, I always wondered, what does this really mean? What does this cover on the pool? Or what does this really cover on appliances? And where am I going to get surprised about pre-existing stuff in a home warranty? Explain a little bit about that to me. Guess what? She has time right now to explain that to you. Home inspection. Rich LeGrand. Rich LeGrand is sitting at home just like you are, because he's not going into a lot of houses. He's not super busy. I hope he is, please. I really hope he is. But now's the time to say, Hey Rich, when you're looking at a house, how much can you really tell about the roof? And how far can you go to explain to my clients on how the roof looks before they have to get a roofing inspector? Define to me what that looks like. Where's the line on that? Or talk to me a little bit about polybutylene piping, and because I never really understood that, but I see it on all your inspection reports, and I just kind of go right by it. Now's the time to ask. Call and ask. Say, hey, I never really did get this. Don't be embarrassed.
No.
Now's the time to learn. Okay, so that's title, lending, home inspector. Who else?
Well, you covered home warranty too.
Home warranty.
Yeah.
So there's your 4 major. Call them. Now's the time to do it. They have time to talk to you. Or maybe start a conversation on Facebook. You know, because I guarantee you're not the only one that has questions on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
Something really good to do right now while you got time.
Absolutely.
Those are all really, really great suggestions, guys. And I think Kelly's recording this. Go back and hear it again. Because right now is the time for you to educate yourself. I've been saying this since the day I started my business. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you look to your clients. And I'm not talking about the more bullshit, you know, I'm talking about the more stuff you actually know that you can give to your clients to help them in their purchase. And I don't care if it's real estate, I don't care if it's cutting hair, I don't care what business you're in, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have.
Absolutely.
Right now is the time to get more knowledge. Okay? Alright, I'm gonna cover a couple more things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you run
yeah.
into database. Okay. We talked about vendors and the resources. Stay engaged. If your day doesn't look like it used to, if you've decided, and nobody's passing judgment, if you've decided to work 3 hours a day now because the rest of the time is just a waste of time, whatever you've decided to do, stay engaged in that 3 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. Stay engaged. Keep on it. Write a day, every day, write something that I want to accomplish this today. And then accomplish that and stay engaged until you get that done. Then at the end of the day, you're going to feel really kind of positive about, hey, I got something done. I can't tell you guys how satisfied I am that I have this done. This was like a huge mountain I had to climb. I'm like, I'm never going to get that done. What a pain in the ass that's going to be, because I want to add their pictures on it and I want to give their websites, and I finally got it there. There's still stuff I need to do, but now it's not a mountain, it's just a little molehill. Just simple stuff I can get done. That's very satisfying for me. It took me a long time to do that. And it's a really important part of my business. Now it's done. I felt really good when I had that done. Family time. Let's talk a little bit about that. So, again, I mentioned earlier that Dr. Rena Zabo, who is the Director of Psychology at Banner Health, she sent me an email, and I posted this on my Facebook page. So this is all, if you want to read this in entirety, did you get a chance to see this?
Yeah, I saw it. It's real good.
It's really good, okay? She's the Director of Psychology. So, and no, I didn't meet her as a patient, if that's what you guys want. She's actually a friend, but she might be doing a case study on me, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just going to give you a couple of real quick highlights, but this is on my Facebook page if you want to see it. Recognizing your stress, acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. That's kind of iffy for me, I'm not real good with that, but recognizing your stress is important. Manage what you can, release what you cannot. Know your limits, focus on what's in your control, and practice self-care. Those are just some of the things that she talks about. Guys, this is different. This is crazy. We're all locked up in our houses.
I'm so excited to get out today. I can't even tell you.
I happen to be madly in love with my wife still, so it's not an issue with me. And I got both my boys home, and I'm thrilled to be home. I love my family time right now. It's awesome. Not everybody's in that position, so you got to make the best of what you got. This is what you got right now. Maybe this is the time to fix that. I'm no psychologist, and I'm not preaching. I'm not a priest. I played one on Halloween one time, and it was the best costume I ever had. But now's the time to maybe look at where your stress is, or take some personal time to figure stuff out. We're talking today about business and how coronavirus is affecting business. Maybe this is a good time to take a look at where your home life is, and I'm not going to preach about that. So that's all I got on that. All right, and then here's the last thing I'm going to say before I'm going to let Mike take over on this. I got a couple of points. The national average Alcohol sales are up 50%. I am definitely part of that 50%. And
I actually saw a guy. This was when the grocery stores were crowded. Okay, like I mean, I was literally in line at one point. Like I was like 15 people back, but this guy had 10 bottles of vodka and he had 2 frozen dinners, and that was it. I was like, okay.
yeah, I mean, hey, let's face it. Americans like to. They like to medicate, and if alcohol's your medicine, then even if it wasn't, maybe it is now. But that's a fact. Alcohol sales are up 50%, so that should tell you something. So one other thing I have as far as staying engaged, another thing you can do, CE classes. You got time right now. Don't wait till you're a month from renewing your contract to do your CE classes. Man, is now a good time to get your CE done. There's online classes you can find ever. Actually, I'm pretty sure either PAR, SAR, or the West Valley, they're doing free CE classes online.
I heard that.
You got to be on Zoom. You got to show that you're there the whole time, and there's rules. But man, what a great time to get your CE done! And lo and behold, you might actually learn something that'll help your business. Imagine that. That's kind of what it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's what it's for.
I mean, I gotta be. So for me. My CE is John Dyer.
He's awesome.
To me, there's not a better class to go than John Dyer's because he scares the shit out of me every time I go to his class. I'm not kidding you. Every time I go to his class, it makes me a better realtor because I get that. You ever see him Animal House where he's got the good guy over here and the devil on this. And I won't say what he says on that, but I get a little John Dyer on my show every time I write a contract. I got John Dyer in my head saying, you should do perfect paperwork. You are fiduciary. If you don't do perfect paperwork, you're a loser. And I mean, I got this little John. I do perfect paperwork. Very, very seldom do I miss anything on my paperwork because I go back and check it 3 or 4 times. That's John Dyer. That's John. He's an incredible. And I think Kelly might be able to tell us. I think that they're trying to figure out John Dyer doing some CE classes from this room on here. So. Is John? Do you know?
I don't want to say yet, but I know.
John is approved and teaching.
It's approved, yeah. So
wait. So
it's coming.
Breaking news! Newsflash! John Dyer will be teaching CE Monday, and that's everybody's invited.
Yeah. We are finalizing how to do payment, how to make sure everybody's live.
Come on up and say hi, Kelly. Everybody probably misses you anyway.
That's awesome.
Okay. Hello.
Vanna Harris.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we are proud to say John Dyer has done
6 feet.
everything he can to bring
Jeremy.
CE. Everybody on.
We're not all in the office like this every day. This is just a little different. So John Dyer is teaching Monday. If you've never been to a John Dyer class, I don't care if you need this CE or not. Tune in. It's worth the price of admission.
Yes. And
it doesn't cost you anything if you're in my home group.
Exactly.
Do you guys know this guy?
I don't know. Are we allowed to touch?
No.
You guys stay away.
All right, I'm out. Too many people.
Yeah. It's a gathering of 10 or more.
Tell us your feelings. Let's talk a little bit about. Still an interview with the owner here. This whole Corona thing. I don't know if you've been listening, but we've been talking about taking the time now to better yourself, to learn. You got time right now, so use it wisely.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a big thing for us, too. I think we, a lot of people, I think that we're going to have 2 groups of people that come out at the end of this, right? People that are going to come out, maybe a little more overweight, a little bit more lazy, a little bit more, complacent, sadly, obviously. And then, but I think that there's going to be another group of people that come out, more organized, more diligent, come out, with even more work ethic, more hunger, more drive, and more focus. And hopefully that's what everybody out there, that's with my home group is going to come out with.
And I think that's going to be either from need, like, holy crap, I got to go make some money because I'm broke now.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be because you just recognize that everything's not always going to be like this. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and some people are going to learn from this. And they're going to get knocked down right now, and we're just going to make them stronger.
This is the opportunity to build. This is the opportunity. And I think you guys heard, on my feed that I put out to, last week, is that, I think the idea right now is to work on your business, work on everything, make the choice. Like, look, guys, we still have to work, we still have to hustle, we still have to have a livelihood at the end of this, and we need to all be racehorses with a 10-second head start.
I was just gonna bring that
when
up,
the gates
yeah.
drop, right? That we need to be going full speed, because there's a lot of people that are kind of sitting down or sitting, on the sidelines a little bit complacent. And I feel like we almost look down on some people if they still want to work and they still want to hustle and they still want to do their things. Like, guys, I don't mean to be insensitive about any of this, and people are dying, and these are their livelihoods on the line, right? It's not for 1 second to be insensitive, but at the same time, again, we have to be a racehorse running at full speed when the gates drop and when things come back to some sort of version of normal. And the other opportunity that this is going to do is provide an audit. I love this word, and we've been talking a lot amongst our staff and our organization, and we'll share with you guys here this word essential. And what is an essential business and what's not essential, and what's now essential in our business and what's not essential in
Breaking it down.
And saying, look, do I need this system? Do I not need this system? Is this essential? How do I evolve? Maybe I go online. Maybe I use Zoom going forward. Maybe I do these things. And it's providing a chance to audit and say, what is truly essential in my business? Mm-hmm. And if I can cut it, let's cut it, and not just because it's a cost or
add it. Like you just said, Zoom.
Right.
I can tell you right now, Zoom was a show they had on Channel 11 when I was 8. We're gonna Zoom.
Right.
Okay, that was a kid. Zoom is awesome. I can see myself using Zoom going forward, and I never knew anything about it. But talking to clients, especially my relocation clients in Chicago, I can actually have a conversation face to face. Big win.
Yeah. So take this opportunity to work and to build, and I'm sure you guys have said already, this is the time to over communicate, be a resource, be there for people, be more present than ever, and provide yourself available to people that might need you, right now. And so, and also, this is also another opportunity to be able to wear shirts like "I woke up and feast slow." Hopefully, out there's holding it against me, Kel. Yeah. I'm sorry,
but I will tell you how much that resonates.
I wasn't prepared for this, so I apologize.
Yeah,
I came into the office to do a few things, and you guys pulled me in here.
But seriously, you just summed up my home group to me. Talking about an evolving company that just rolls with the changes, rolls with the punches. Guys, I've been around a long time. I've owned my own business for years and years. I'm telling you right now, my home group ain't stopping. This is not. Maybe they're pulling in the reins a little bit, just because we have to. But underneath, man, we're building. So when we come out on the other side, my home group ain't sitting down. They're not home licking their wounds or crying in their beer. Mark might be crying.
Mark's probably crying in his beer, whatever he's,
not crying. He just might.
No,
he's a Tito's guy. Anyway.
No, he's fine.
Yeah,
the other thing I was going to say too is that, I was going to do a video myself, later as well, and post it into our group of, again, I don't mean to be insensitive for 1 minute about what's going on. I think we're all conscious, we're all aware, this is serious, there's lives on the line, there's people that are losing lives and whatnot. And so we need to take the precautions. I need you to step away from me. We need to take the precautions, and we need to evolve our business to include these precautions. At the same time, guys, this again, I come back to, this creates an opportunity. And for us that are forward thinking, we know this is going to pass. It's not if, but when. This creates an opportunity for you, for me, for our families, for our friends, and ultimately for our clients, that maybe they have less competition. Maybe you can get them into something. Maybe you can help, you can help people out. Again, this is a long game play. This isn't about March 2020 or April 2020. This is about the year of 2020 and beyond, into 21, 22, and beyond. And for the folks out there that sees opportunity, this can be an opportunity for people. Again, for you guys, for your families potentially, for your clients, for all your guys' clients, this can be an opportunity to maybe have less competition, maybe taking advantage of low rates. Maybe this is the time to get some seller concessions. maybe whatever it may be, right? This isn't. I mean,
Use your
again,
free time.
not to be insensitive for 1
Use your
second.
time.
Again, not to be insensitive, but this for those out there that look for opportunities, this can be an opportunity.
That's what I really liked about what you said when you talked about, think of everyone right now as in the gate, right? They're behind the gate and they're waiting for the gate to drop so they can get back out there and do this stuff. But being more prepared now gives you that 10-second head start you talked about, being ahead of the pack. So when the gates drop, you've already got the 10-second head start. So this is the time to be prepared to dial in your business, if it's creating a business plan, if it's working your database, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but it is now more than ever to be more prepared.
Let's go back to the way we started this, what's your day look like every day now? It's different than it looked 3 weeks ago. Everybody's day looks different, 2 months ago, or whenever, March 11th was really when they canceled the NCAA tournament, I knew this was like, well, this is legit. So, what did your day look like then? Well, it's different now. So define what your day looks like now. And I'm going to say something that Jeremy can't and Mark can't say, and probably not even Mike because he's on the staff here. This is the cleanse. This is the cleanse. This will clean out our industry. So realtors that were kind of in real estate, unfortunately for them, this is the cleanse. Because they're going to have to find work. They're going to have to go back to tenant bar, and God bless them. I'm not happy about that. But for those of us that are full-time, day-to-day, 24/7 realtors and are out working our asses off, this is going to clean it out a little bit. This may actually force other brokerages to be more like my home group. Okay, so my home group. I mean, you can't. This is not a promo for my home group. Please don't take it that way. There's more classes in this room every week that teach you something that you never learned in real estate school. Never. They don't teach it. They don't teach you actually how to go out and get business. And that's a real thing. And I have nothing bad to say about any other brokerage. And I'm not here to brown-nose Jeremy. This is how I truly feel. The culture here of everybody learning, now's the time to take advantage of it. Right now. If you got a question on, wow, who's that old guy that taught that class the other day, Johnny Walker guy? I wonder if he knows how to do this. Call me. This is my home group is a culture of sharing. We got time to share right now. Mike and I don't do 2-hour classes, during the week. We're busy. We got time right now. Use it, use it. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. I think I agree with you 100%. But at the same time,
we have livelihoods.
let's go. I got wife and kids to take care of and a mortgage and.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're not willing to fight right now, you're gonna get trampled.
And there's people out there, Tiffany Gobster, huge shout out to her, put out a post of, the reason that, real estate is an essential business is because, she gave 10 examples of, folks that, the elderly couple that, whatever, decided that they, can no longer, be in the home, whatever, right? Or, like there's, and I don't want to misquote, but there was like 10, examples that she gave of course, legitimate, valid reasons why people, they can't stop. We can't stop that aspect of our lives, and that's why that it's an essential,
Know what I learned through this?
What's that?
I can never retire.
Yeah.
I would have no idea what to do with myself. Really, seriously. I have a private office here at the office, so I have been coming to the office. I close my door. No social distancing required. I'm in my own office, so I've been coming. There's no way I could retire. I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
It's like impossible. Right? You got a couple of little guys. You can go out in the backyard and play baseball or whatever. You got a bunch of little guys. You're busy. You know what I mean? Though it's like it's really a difficult thing. We should try something else I found the other day that really totally off subject here. So there's a girl that used to work with me. Her name is Laura Workman. She's on Facebook, and she's an incredible singer. She's got a band and she's been doing covers of songs on Facebook. They're so awesome. She's covering like U2 and Creed, and it's awesome. Check her out. Anyway,
All right.
Little stuff I just found that you take that little break during the day. You're like, oh, that was cool. Kind of perks your spirits up. Anything?
Yeah.
You gotta find
Stay
it.
positive, man.
Sebastian Maniscalco. I think I've watched all his comedy routines.
That's a great point, and the last thing for me is that, we have, we just like, life presents itself before all this is we have a choice, we have a choice to make, and we can track every news, piece, and we can, we can get anxiety and we can get depressed and we can get down in the dumps and we can say, woe is me and whatnot, or we can choose to operate, in positivity and abundance and forward thinking. And again, I think that we have this ultimate choice on which way we want to operate. And and again, like I said, we have livelihoods and we have futures and we have families and kids, and we have a responsibility. I want to reiterate too that we're all leaders in this, and I'm thankful and humble. I know I don't look like it today in my feast mode shirt. Thankful and humble to run, an organization, such as my home group with credible staff, credible agents and teams and et cetera. But you're a leader. We're all leaders, whether it be of your clients, your friends, you're a leader of your family, you're a leader of other people that look to you. You guys are on the stage right now that other people are looking to you. Again, every single one of us out there, people are looking at us, and how we respond and how we act is infectious, right? We've seen the memes going around the internet of it's also infectious, our attitude and how we portray ourselves and what we choose to spread. And do we want to report those? Did I miss that from earlier?
Exactly
there you go.
That was my next point.
Yeah, there you go. So it's
you can project being positive. You
right.
can project, this is gonna kill it. We're never gonna. You can't just
right.
Yeah, and that's infectious too.
That's what I'm saying.
That's infectious too.
So we're all leaders, and again, if it's nothing more than a leader of our family or a leader of our friends that look to us, and leaders stay calm and cool and collected. And I'm so proud to look around. I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing right now. I'm so proud of our staff for evolving and staying cool, calm, and collected. Mark, yeah, everybody, Mark. Yeah, and absolutely. And along with our agents, all of our agents out there too, I see the professionalism. I see again, back to being a level-headed, calm leader, leading with facts over fear, and leading with, again, the data and the numbers. And, again, we're in 9 states, but, Phoenix Metro, or I should say Arizona as a whole, is the backbone of our business. And, it's the numbers tell a story, the activity level here in Arizona. And if you heard, Tina with the Cromford report,
yeah, it was awesome.
The sky is not falling, right? And so,
and those were facts. That was not opinion.
No, there's no fact. Yeah, or there's no opinion. It's all facts. It's all numbers. It's all real data. And it's not to say that there won't be a little bit of an evolution in the market itself as well, which probably is going to happen. And maybe you start seeing this shift more into a buyer's market. Like I said a little bit ago, it might provide more of an opportunity, for people. Maybe now you can get the seller concessions where you couldn't get that, a month ago. So,
right.
But guys, hey, you guys got a ways to go on this.
Yeah, we got a little bit to go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for Jeremy, everybody.
One quick thing before Jeremy takes off. So I help coach Jeremy's kids, and so we see each other outside of the office, and Mark and I hang out a little bit, and this is real, guys. I know Jeremy in and out of this office. I can't tell you some of the language he uses around the kids. No, I'm just kidding. That little, but this is real. These guys are, Mark and Jeremy, our owners are,
thank you.
Awesome. I'm sorry, if I was a tattoo guy, I have my own group right here. It's been awesome. So thank you for.
Yeah, thanks for.
They're working on something really big now, and those girls are working really hard on this new back office stuff, and it's been a huge project. They haven't slowed down one bit, because when this thing kicks back in, that new back room is going to just be smoking.
Yeah, and again, we don't have a choice, guys, and I appreciate your guys' contribution and everybody else's out there too. And you're right. I think that collectively as a society,
not back room.
yeah, as a society, I think that at first there was a little bit of this, shock and awe, and probably a little bit of, obviously there was fear, and then I think that we crept out of this, like, maybe there was a little more calmness, and then maybe we dipped back into fear, and then we kind of come back into calm. I think that we're continuing now, to understand what's going on around us, and there is a new sense of calmness that I think that we all hopefully collectively have and collectively can share. And by no means, like I said, do we want to discount or discredit anything that's going on around us, but we do, at some point, we have to evolve. Yeah, we have to, evolve, and we have to, take care of our livelihoods.
This is an emotional ride. I mean, this is, if you're watching the news day in and day out, man, when you get done watching the news, you're like, I mean,
It's exhausting.
yeah, that's why I said
I
earlier,
can't,
watch it for an hour.
I can't.
Find out what you need to know, and then
you're done. Yeah.
try to get away from it if you can.
I can't either.
I
can't tell you.
was guilty of it in the beginning. I was watching it like
Glued to it.
Yeah, I was
Glued
like,
to it.
when I get done, my days have been slammed. But by the time I'm done at 5 or 6, I'm watching some of the shows there, and and all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock. I spent 3 hours from 5:30 to 8 watching this update, and I'm like, I can't do that anymore.
You know who the biggest fan of the news is right now? Liquor stores. Liquor sales are up 50% because
Yeah.
people are watching the news.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, I'm kidding, but there's a lot to say.
No, you're
right
not
now.
kidding. I think that.
I mean, this is an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
you got little kids, and we have Tim Lichty. Congratulations, Tim just had a baby. He had a coronavirus baby. Colby's getting ready to have a baby. You're bringing kids into this world right now. Man, that's freaking scary. That's scary stuff. You got grandma can't come out of her. I mean, this is an emotional thing. Let alone we're talking about business today. We get it. All right, let's finish this up.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Scram. I only get to throw the boss out once.
Any questions right now before we dive into database?
I'm gonna let you take database. I think that my last thing, Mike, was this, and Jeremy kind of covered it.
Yep.
If you're on Facebook, you're either projecting a positive image or a negative image. Positivity is infectious. Negativity is a downer. You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose people if you're not positive. Find something positive. There's positive things happening every day. Find something positive in every day. Anything on here I missed?
Yeah,
No whining?
got everything. Yeah, no whining.
Toughen up.
Yeah.
Adapt. I talked about Rena. All right, I'm gonna let Mike handle database, and I'm gonna drop back in a second.
Okay, yeah, so let's talk about database right now. It's the number one non-negotiable thing you should be doing every day anyway. Now in today's this is the time to focus on it. This is the time to really build it. So I'm just going to share with you a simple process that I've done, and it's worked out really well. It's just simplify it. Those of you that have database systems, I do encourage you, if you don't have one, to get one. When I first started in the business, I actually started with just an Excel spreadsheet and a notebook, and that was my database. I couldn't afford to have a database when I first started in real estate. So now I do. I have 2 different systems that I use. There are many systems. That's another offline conversation. If you have any questions on database, just reach out to me, Michael Marlowe at myhomegroup.com. If you have any questions on that, I can help talk through some of that. But if you have a system, I'm willing to bet most of you, and if we're really going to be honest with ourselves, that most of you probably haven't really learned everything there is to know about your database system. This is the time to do that. You should be the expert. I talked a little bit a while ago about right now setting a foundation from which to build from, and that's picking 2 or 3 things that you want to work on right now. One should be database, definitely database. If you have lead generation systems, this is the time to really be out there lead generating, getting on social media, using those platforms to build your business. But whatever they are, you should be the master of each one. You should really know every system that you're working in real estate. You should be the expert at it. So this is the time to become an expert at your database. So if you don't have one, you want to think about getting a system. But let's get into it. So database sphere is the number one thing that you want to build. Okay. Now a lot of people say, well, where do I start? So I always say start with your sphere. Start here. Start with your phone. Most of us have a certain number of contacts in your phone. So start there. It's a great way to clean out your phone too. So what I recommend is to make like maybe three to five calls a day. 3 to 5 calls a day, no more than 5 to 10 minutes a call. No more than 5 to 10 minutes a call. Remember, there's a lot of things that we're doing right now to prepare for our business, so try to keep the call right around 5 or 10 minutes. Basically, here's what my script goes like. So I make 2 types of calls. When I first started building my database, there's 2 types of calls, because especially when you're going through your phone, there's going to be people you haven't talked to in a while, and then there's going to be people you talk to on a regular basis. So I make 2 types of calls. My first call is a reconnect call. So if the person that is next on my list in my phone to call, I haven't talked to in a long time. It's just a simple reconnect call. And what a better time to do it right now than to catch up with people. So my reconnect call goes something like this. It might be, hey Joe, it's Michael with my home group. How are you today? And we say, I'm doing great. And you're going to be, I know it's been a long time since we talked. I really just wanted to catch up with you, reconnect with you. I'm sorry that I've been busy doing this or that, but I really want to catch up with you. Do you have time to catch up? And that's really it. You can make it your own words at that point, but the idea is just to reconnect. And that's all it is. It's not talking about real estate. It is just simply, let's reconnect. Let's catch up. I'm sorry I've been out of touch. I really want to reconnect with you and catch up. So do that. That's what's called a reconnect call. You're not getting any business at all. That'll come down at a later call. You should be cycling through your database every 90 days. But first call, if you haven't talked to them in a long time, reconnect call. Simple script. The second call is people that you have talked to that talk to on a regular basis. This is what I call the indirect ask call. So in this call, basically reach out, hey Joe, it's Michael, my home group, how are you today? I was just thinking about you on my way to a meeting, or you can make this as a professional call, so you could go into that either way. You make it your own, but you're going to get into the reason for my calls. I was just thinking about you on my way to a meeting, and as you may or may not know, I'm a realtor, and I was just wondering if you'd feel comfortable referring me to someone that may need real estate help or real estate services or something like that. So it's an indirect ask is what I like to call it. It's my favorite way to ask for business, but it's something that's that simple. So, and then if they say, most of the time, these are people you talk to on a regular basis, they're going to probably say, yes, I absolutely would refer you someone if they needed real estate help. And then you're going to say, Greg, I want to make sure that you have my information. I'll text that over to you. And then you're going to invite them into the database. So, and what you're going to say at the end of that call is, would you be interested in receiving some real estate information on a regular basis or a monthly basis, or however you want to ask that way? But that's a simple call. It does three things on this call. The first it does is it reminds them that you're a realtor, because most people know you for you. They don't know you as a realtor as well. So that's what it does. Reminds them that you're a realtor. The second thing it does is that you indirectly ask them for the business. It triggers their subconscious to think about whether they know someone or not. Because remember, you asked them, would you feel comfortable referring me to someone that might need real estate help? So that triggers the subconscious for them to think about it. And then the third thing that you did on that script is you invited them into the database. Because nobody should go into your database that's not invited in. You know, and there's a lot of times people will just take old lists or old spreadsheets or different things, and they'll dump everybody in there and just start dripping on right away. And that's something you don't want to do. You want to have everybody invited in. There's a reason for that. You want to have a higher conversion rate on your database than just dumping a bunch of names in there and start dripping on them, because a lot of them are going to unsubscribe.
It's not like a contest. I have more people in my
database.
Right. Yeah. How good is your database?
Yeah, how good is your database? Exactly, and that's why you want to make it better by inviting everybody in. So those are two quick scripts that you can use to get through your phone. That's where you want to start through your phone. Then you can start adding lists from maybe old workplaces or old businesses or different things like that. You can start to add them in, but you want to dial them, invite them in. Don't just dump them in there. So again, 3 to 5 calls a day. You can be as aggressive as you want. The thing about this is, especially in this time, in the times of COVID, lead with positivity. I mean, you should always have a good attitude anyway in this business. So anytime that you're making a call, leave the negativity at the door. It's all positive. It's all that people can tell when you're in a good mood. So be in a good mood when you're doing this. 3 to 5 calls a day, no more than 5-10 minutes a call, and then you're going to invite them in. Here's how I break down the database. So I break it down into 3 categories. I have my friends, family, I have my clients, and then I have my power partners. And then I break it down 3 more times. So I'll break it down to what I call raving fans, or what a lot of people like to call top 100. And don't worry if your top 100 is only 20 people right now. It's just, you can start. But I call raving fans, and I have connectors, and then I have the followers. Okay? So when someone does say, yes, I want to be in your database, this is where you're going to tag them. Most systems have a way to tag people, like Conversion's the system I use. it has what's called hashtags. So I hashtag buyer, hashtag under 350,000. There's a lot of different things that you can tag them with. Yeah, friends, family. If it's a buyer, seller, whatever it is, you can hashtag them. So a lot of systems have a way to tag your clients. So I'll tag them as a friend, family, client, or power partner, and then I'll tag them where they go. And here's what I mean by that. So followers. Everybody that goes into this section, you're inviting them in. So as you're reaching out to your database, you're gonna separate them based on how much communication you have with them. So followers are the ones that said, yes, I want information, but they're not responding to your emails, they're not responding to your calls, they're just not getting back to you. So they're not really responding that often at all. But they said yes to being in your database, so I leave them in there. And trust me when I say somebody that's in a followers category will move all the way over to a raving fan category and vice versa. So this is something you're definitely going to manage. But followers, the main important thing is you should be reaching your database 24 to 36 times a year, at a minimum, 24 to 36 touches, and I'm going to show you how. So followers are going to get just a monthly newsletter. That's it. So these are the ones that aren't really communicating with often, but you're still reaching out, you're staying in touch with them. So monthly newsletter. Connectors, we're going to get a monthly newsletter. We're going to get a market update. Their birthday, holidays, at a minimum, this is what we're going to get. Now, remember I was saying 24 to 36 times a year. Well, a monthly newsletter is 12 times. Market update is 4, birthday is 1, holidays is right around about 8 holidays, about 8. That's 25 touches right there. Now we're going to get into more touches that you should be doing out there, and I'll share that with you. But here, raving fans, they're going to get everything that the connectors get in personal touch. So personal touch. And right now, more than ever, I know a lot of people that build their databases, they rely a lot on automation to do their personal touches, because it's so easy to now send out an automatic video or a text or an email. But personal touch is still very, very, very important. And this means that when people go in here, and so let's break this down, raving fans are people that are helping you all the time. They're consistently helping you with your business. Power partners, examples of them helping you with your business all the time are title. They're providing you the buyer guides, the seller guides. They're providing you the Altus report. They're providing you stuff you need for your open houses and things like that in your business. Lenders are helping you with flyers and information on things to help you build your business. So they would be in your raving fans. But people that are helping you with your business all the time go into the raving fan section. People that are helping you once in a while, often, but not all the time, they're going to go into the connector section. And the people that said yes, they want to be in your database, but they haven't been in communication with you hardly at all, they're going to be in the follower section. So everybody's getting something that's in your database. You're predominantly spending most of your time right here in these two sections, as we're going to be making a lot of calls. So personal touch. What do I mean by that? Well, personal touch could be Johnny referred me 2 people, and I'm working with one, and the other one's getting pre-qualified. Well, a personal touch would be, I'm going to call Johnny to thank him for referring those 2 people, but I'm going to keep him in the loop. So it is a personal phone call. It's not just a text to say thanks. I really want to talk to Johnny personally to thank him. Things like that, okay? Another personal touch point would be all of your clients that go into your system. Hopefully all of you are doing what I call like biannual review. Every 6 months you should be calling them and having a personal conversation with them. A lot of people call annual review, like a house anniversary. That should be a personal call. Not only going to send them information on what's a market update on their property in the last 12 months, but that's a personal call. Okay, you're going to reach out to them, talk to them, things like that. So personal touch. And when we get past the COVID phase and you can be out again, this is going to go further to meeting for coffee, thanking them for the business. There's about 10 calls a day that you could work out of here, what I call 5 gratitude calls and 5 give back calls. And I'll get to the give back calls, but right now, this is thank you, thank you, thank you. So these are all the people that are helping you with your business all the time. You should be reaching out to them on a regular basis, say thank you. Thank you for helping me with my business. Thank you for referring that person over to me. Thank you for trusting me to be your realtor and closing that transaction. So gratitude calls, at least 5 a day you should be doing out of your database. Okay. and then the give back calls I'll get to in just a minute. But so this is a way to make it simple, okay? Another way to help you break it down even a little bit more is, I don't know if any of you know, but you can create what's called lists in Facebook. So Facebook's another way to help you with your database. You can break Facebook down to, these are all the realtors, these are all my clients, these are all my power partners. You literally can build a list in your database, and so when you go into that list, you'll see all the feed from the list. Not everyone, like most people have to scroll and scroll to go through your list. This is a way to break down Facebook so that you can just see the people that are in that list and what they're feeding, communicate with them. So if you haven't done that yet, that is something I highly recommend as an agent for you to treat Facebook as another part of your database. So any questions on that, just let me know. I know there's been classes on this before as well. So all right, so now raving fans. Nobody goes into that section unless they're helping you build your business. They need to be helping you all the time build your business. And if they're not, then they don't go there. You need to move them into a different category. Connectors are helping you often, followers hardly ever. But again, so personal touch points. Some other personal touch points I would do, the annual reviews for your clients. You should be reaching out to them at the end of the year about their settlement statement. That's another great way to have a personal touch call with them. Those are two additional things that I would definitely add into your personal touch points. The annual review, I can't tell you how important that is, because if you understand that the average life of the, what's the average life of the loan in Arizona? It's either 3 to 5 years, 4 to 7, right? Yeah, so those are the two, number one, number two answers that I get. But think about that. What does that mean? Every 3 to 5 years, somebody's either refinancing or they're selling, right? So you should be doing annual reviews. You should be doing annual. Sorry, it's ringing in my ear and I can't hear. You should be doing annual reviews, because being top of mind is something you want to do. So you have the automation plus the personal touch points, which keeps you top of mind to all of your database. And if they are deciding to downsize or job transfer, all that, you've been in constant communication with them so they don't forget you. So it's very, very important to really work on your database, become the master. Understand every ins and out of the database, how to create task campaigns, drip campaigns, all the different things that your database can do. You want to be the expert at it. Now, task campaign, what do I mean by that? Well, not only you have this set up on drip campaigns for your everybody in your database, but you can create a task campaign so for every milestone that your client goes through. So if you get a new buyer that comes into the database and you're moving them through the milestone, the task campaign can remind you of all the things that you need to do during that transaction. So task campaigns are really huge, they're important. So become the expert at your database. So any questions so far? Any questions out there, John?
I'm not.
Anybody got any questions so far?
I want to throw one thing out.
Yeah.
I want to throw one thing out. Raise your hand if you're guilty of not working your database the way you should. And if you're not raising your hand, then I want to know who you are, because I was as guilty as anybody. This is a process.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
It's a way. Yeah, it's not a sprint. It's a way to get business. So I have something that right along the lines of what you do on this. I have my top 20. And I like to talk to those people every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Talk. So I do 5 calls a day.
Yep,
So if I do that, yeah. So it's a numbers game. Whatever works best for you. But if you have, and I'm as guilty as anybody, I came into this whole thing and my database was like 3,000 people. I mean, I got 30 years of business here. I got a lot of people in my database that have double opted in, that want to talk to me or want to hear what I got to say. That's a lot of people to call, you know. Eventually I was able to pare that down to like 1,500 of people that were really should have been. Now's the time to do it. You got the time to do it. Now is the time. But this is a commitment. Not just, it's a commitment to yourself and to your business. And right now is the time to change your habits. If you every day say, God, I wish I worked my database better. My lending partner's all over me. Work your database. Until the point where I'm like, shut up, I know I need to work my database, because I feel bad that I didn't do it, you know? I'm guilty of it too. Work your database. Now I can't tell you how many realtors that I've done so many one-on-one classes
and then Mark and Jeremy are like, you're working so many hours, you need to do this as a class. So, but a lot of agents, I had an agent, 14 years in the business, does 80 transactions a year, went through this class, and she's like, I just realized how many thousands of dollars I'm leaving on the table by not working my database. Because as agents, we're all really good at filtering through and finding people that are ready now. But I'll give you a statistic that I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's 1 in 34. For every 34 people that you talk to about real estate, there's an opportunity. But as agents, we're really good at going through the 34 people and finding the 2 people that are ready. The one that's ready now and one that's ready in 3 to 6 months or more. Right? We're really good at filtering through and finding out who's ready now. But what if I told you that the other 32 people, up to 17% are going to buy in the next 12 months? That's a crazy number. So, and most people don't really, and if we're going to be honest, most realtors don't really follow up as much as they should. And so, but you're leaving a lot of potential opportunity on the table by doing that. So it's super important to follow up. Even if this number just dropped down to 10%, that's 3.2 more opportunities for you in the next 12 months if you just follow up. So it's super, super important to have a system and to be following up all the time. You really got to stay on. I'll give you an example of why it's important. I actually did an open house. I had a couple come in, and actually their kids came in first, and then they knew their parents would love the house, called them, they came over, they spent 3 hours at the open house. I thought for sure, this is a deal. I totally got this is a deal. They loved me. They wanted to work with me. But they ended up saying at the end of the 3 hours at the open house, they said, we have a house to sell. We live in London. We're going to be moving back to the States. And we got a house to sell. So we'll let you know. And I thought, okay, so good. It was 12 months. 12 months of nothing. And I followed up. Thank the Lord that I literally stayed on this system. I kept doing what I should be doing, but they did not correspond with me for 12 months. I finally got an email and said, hey, do you remember us from a year ago? And I said, yes. Turned out to be $355,000 cash buy. Boom, because I followed up, because I stayed following up. And I can't tell you how many other realtors have shared that experience with you.
I'll give you a great example. My relocation program, I think the minimum amount of time I've spent with one of my clients on relocation is 6 months. I mean, they got to sell their house in Chicago, they got to find one here. I would say the average is probably 12 to 18 months that I'm working with clients before they actually, but that gives me 18 months to create a relationship with these people, consistently talking to them, sending them houses. So what happens after they move here? Well, if grandma and grandpa move here, or if the daughter moves here with the grandkids, guess what? Grandma and grandpa are coming with them. They're 2 months later. So one deal turns into 3 or 4 deals. Because now I have a relationship. Now it's not like, oh yeah, what was our realtor's name in Arizona? Who was that guy we were talking to? That big mouth Irish kid? It's actually a relationship.
But you're reinforcing the point that it's super important to continue to follow up with your database. So you need to have a system that's going to help you do that. Automation is key, in my opinion. I know I did it out of a notebook and a spreadsheet. If that's all you can do right now, then that's where you start. You're just going to have to do a lot of this stuff by hand. But this is all automation. All this stuff here is automation. And this is automation plus personal touch. So I know I don't have a lot of time to get more into it, but I do this business development class every 2 weeks. So I really dive into all this stuff again. I know we did a little bit here and there, but if you want more on this, we'll have to get with Kelly on one of my next classes. I think it might be next week. If it's next week, then you can plug into that class, and I really dive deep into this stuff as well. But I know we've got maybe less than 15 minutes, so I want to just share a couple things with you to close on this. And so let's do that. Let me get the eraser here. I'm going to show you why building your database right now, making these calls is important. Oh, before I go into that, the give back calls. Remember, we talked about the power partners and that big list of people that you're trying to refer to. Well, that's a give back call. So I'll spend 5 calls a day just reaching out. And what a better time. You could probably do 10 calls a day during now. But just to reach out to see how people are doing. And the way I share this experience is when I did BNI years ago. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's Business Networking International. It's a networking group that you have one person from each field of business, and then the idea is to refer each other leads. Well, I was going to my first meeting, and I didn't have I wasn't ready, wasn't prepared. So I went and called my recent transactions, and I I said, hey Joe, it's Michael, how are you today? And he was like, I'm doing great. He goes, hey, it was such a pleasure working with you in your transaction. I just wondered if there's anything you need today. Anything I can help you with? He's like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a landscaper. I'm like, great, I'll have them call you today. I have some that you can use. So that was, it dawned on me, I'm like, why am I not doing that all the time? Why am I not doing that all the time? So now that I do what's called give back, and that's the best time to do it. Right now is your chance to really catch up with everybody in your database and just reach out to them. How are you today? How are you doing? And is there anything I can help you with today? And that gives you the chance to refer back to those group, all your vendor lists, that you get a chance to refer to them. So
let me take that a step further.
Yeah.
This is like to the max, though. This is going to be something that not everybody can do. So this vendor list that I created, I actually have an email with everybody that's on here that I keep in touch with these people completely separate from my database because they're not really clients. These are more referral partners. These are the people I refer. Every at least once a month, I'm sending an email to all of them saying, you know, hey, just want to give you an update. Business is this is what I've been doing. Hopefully the people that I've been sending you are working out. Thanks for being good vendor partners. You know, just kind of just another touch. It reminds them that when they go out on the job today, they're like, oh yeah, I got to refer Johnny again. I mean, you got to keep reminding people. So Mike, we should probably.
Yeah, I'm going to just wrap up.
I got three questions that I want to answer. So give us 5 minutes at least to.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this really quick. So then we wrap up and we'll take questions. So think about, we know this is a pipeline business, so I'm going to do this as quick as possible. So we're working on database. If you're working on database and social media, lead generation, things like that, think about it like this. So building the database is a marathon, not a sprint. So let's say that I make a phone call and they say, well, we're not ready yet. So through the phone call, they're 24 months out. Let's say I'm doing social media, somebody comes and I connect with them, it's 18 months out, I do another phone call, and what I'm doing is that most people, when they see someone that's 24 months out, they stop working, they don't follow up, they don't do it, it's too far out. I'm looking for people now. But what you want to start doing is build this pipeline. This should make you excited that you have somebody that's 24 months out. That's a pipeline deal, and that's what you want to do. So whatever your pillars of business are, and that's 1 to 3 pillars of business, that's what you're doing. So you're making calls, doing open houses, or you're doing social media, but everybody's landing on the timeline, all right? At some point on the timeline because they're not ready. But then someone will be ready, and then you're working with this client, but then they're not ready, and you see what I'm doing. But you keep moving along this timeline, and all of a sudden this person says they're ready, now all 3 of these people start raising their hand, and that's what ends up happening. That's why you want to build the pipeline of business. So you keep, they're not ready. That's exactly what happened to me. I almost quit this business when I started. 3 months, I was working hard on my database, following up, doing everything I should have, wasn't getting anything, and then all of a sudden somebody raised their hand. And I had this gap. My gap was 3 months, but I had all these people that were not ready, and I actually ended up getting 2 deals this month, and then there was a gap, and then when I landed, somebody said they're ready, I closed 5 transactions in 1 month. And then I closed 3, then I closed 4, then I closed 3. Because all along the timeline, people were starting to raise their hand. I'm ready now. So this is why it's important for you to build a pipeline business and stay in touch. I kept staying in touch with everyone. And that's why my business started exploding. I ended up doing 27 transactions. I went from borrowing $80 to get 10 open house signs, borrowed $80 to get 10 open house signs, to closing 27 deals that year.
There's no such thing as a single deal. If you're working properly, there's no such thing as, oh yeah, I sold those folks a house. Because their friend, their neighbor, their cousin, their aunt, their uncle, somebody they work with, everybody's going to need a realtor, or they're going to know somebody that's going to need a realtor.
Okay, now real quick, here's what I close with. The number one thing that you can do right now is to commit. You truly have to commit. And I don't mean commit here in your head, commit here in your heart, of what it is that you want to do for this business right now. What is your commitment? The next thing you got to do is you got to believe it's going to happen. You have to believe that you're going to accomplish the goal that you set. It's got to be there. Next thing you're going to do, we talked about this quite a bit, focus. This is where we talked about narrowing down what it is that you want to do. Pick 1 or 2 things that you want to be an expert at and become the expert. You got to focus. Have a clear mental vision. Now more than ever, this is the time to really not only stay positive, but be clear in what you want. Be clear in where you want to go in this business. And then The last thing is Jeremy and I used to teach a class together way back in the day. It was business essentials, and it's funny to use that word essential today. But he said something that really stuck with me is that in this business you have to be wildly consistent. Okay? Or Joshua Smith says one of my other favorite things, you got to take massive action. So he used to say that all the time. You just got to do it. So commit, you got to believe it's going to happen, get focused, be clear on where you're going, and take massive action, and be wildly consistent. So now let's get to your questions. I know you had some questions.
Let me add one last thing onto this, and that's that you can't get discouraged, especially right now. If all the stuff that Mike just talked about doesn't work tomorrow, don't get discouraged. Stay with it. You got to stay with it. It's all going to work out.
Yeah, you're not going to complete all this stuff for the next day or the next week, but this is something you should be working every single day to build this. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, there's three things that I want to talk about. Somebody asked a question or made a comment about it's time to start boning up on your knowledge of foreclosures and short sales. Yeah, I agree with that. Why not? You should know all about foreclosures and all about short sales. I disagree that this is going to cause a lot of that. I just don't see it. Not yet.
Well, Tina talked about that in the. I didn't really see that was going to be
Statistically, we are not looking at another 2008.
Yeah.
In 2008, the housing market caused the crash. Okay? This year, the housing market is going to save the crash. It's completely two different spectrums. And that information is not my opinion. That's factual. So the person that, and I'm not going to out who said it, but the person that said you better be ready for foreclosures, yeah, sure, I agree 100%.
Oh, because
you better be ready for it to snow tomorrow too, and you better be ready for rain, and you better be ready for the monsoon when it comes. Yes, be prepared. I agree 100%. But that's doom and gloom, and I think to be prepared is smart. But I do not predict that this market is going to be another 2008 where there's short sales everywhere.
No, but I think it may cause some of that. So being prepared, I think, is a great thing. So I think, why not? Why not be prepared for that?
Yeah, Mike, so you should be prepared for people that want to live in a certain school district. It's the same thing. You should be prepared for everything. Now's the time to bone up on stuff like that. I want to go back.
3 questions, right?
There was one question and 2 other statements.
Okay.
So one more time. I want to throw out John Dyer. I believe is teaching Monday. This is whenever John teaches, I come in here and I'm not an artist, but this is me. I put a little John Dyer on my shoulder.
No, you're really not you're not an artist.
Not at all. And I do that as a joke. You guys are laughing, but I do it really seriously. Okay, you can only take so much of John Dyer. After a full round of golf, you're done with him for a couple of days. But
he's awesome. He's amazing.
He literally sits on my shoulder on every deal I do, and I'm not just trying to pat John Dyer on the back. I'm trying to tell you that the information he shares is something that can motivate you right now to learn stuff and say, John Dyer says if you haven't read the contract 50 times front to back, you don't understand the contract. Guess what? If you haven't, I'm your enemy. Because when I sit at open houses, I tell people that I challenge you to ask the next realtor you talk to how many sections are in the contract and what's the most important section. And they're all like, really? And then I give them the answers on a piece of paper with my name on it. I use that against folks that aren't doing what they should be and understanding the contract. When I say the contract, I'm talking about the BINSR, I'm talking about the buyer broker, I'm talking about the SPUDs, I'm talking about the contract, I'm talking about all of our paperwork. We have a fiduciary duty to our clients to do that, and John will explain this, he does it much more eloquently than I do, but we are actually practicing law. We are put in a position to file legal documents in the real estate transaction for our clients. Okay, the last thing
while he's doing that, any questions at all, please text him now or put them in there. Kelly's waiting for it, so if we can answer anything at all. just put it out there so we can get back to you.
So this was a really long 2-hour deal. So I think Mike and I are going to do this. We'll do this again next week, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We're just going to pick a subject, hammer it out so you guys can go on with your day. This is kind of a long kind of introductory thing. So let us know what you want us to cover. And maybe next Friday, Mike, you want to meet back here? We'll do this again? Okay, so next Friday we'll meet back here and we'll do this again. Only we're going to let you guys pick the subject. So let Kelly know what subject. You don't even have to be in real estate. Okay, this is on the My Home Group page. It's not on our Mastermind private page. If it's something that you want to talk about because of coronavirus and your business and what I think we all can learn from anything like that. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Do we miss anything, Mike?
So-
What else were you?
Any questions at all, you guys? No? Done? Everybody's good?
Call. Get on Facebook. Get on My Home Group page. Get on the Mastermind page. If you have questions, if there's something, God, I really could use some help with this, call. There's people here that will help you walk through stuff or at least send you to the right place to learn, so that you can learn it on your own. No freebies here. So
Good.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say thank you all for taking time today to come out, get on Facebook and listen to us. We hope it was worth the time. And again, just thank you. Stay positive, stay safe, stay well. If we can help with anything at all, please reach out to us. Just let us know.
All right, Mike. Here it is. This is going to be public. I say the Sox, if they play baseball.
Oh, okay.
If they play baseball, I say the Sox will have a better record than the Cubs at the end of the year. For lunch?
Okay, you're
To
right.
bet?
All right.
All right, you saw it.
You saw it right there.
Hey, wait. Sign right here. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Cut the feed, Kelly. Cut the feed.